At Mill Dam Creek, Virginia, an old warrior has come upriver from the sea to die in the waters where she was born, ending her life amidst the swamp grass and rusted hills of a junkyard for ships. Her final destiny is to be broken up into scrap, some of it for the steel mills of a one-time enemy who could not defeat her. On this sunlit flight deck and in the darkness below, on a certain day, such acts of greatness were performed that they will be honored forever, even by those who least honor war. Here, men fought and freely offered their lives, not to destroy an enemy, but to save their shipmates. In so doing, they created a legend and became the most decorated crew in the history of the United States Navy.
Serving aboard the USS Franklin, to me, is one of the biggest experiences of my life, and I don't think I will ever forget, as long as I ever live, being part of the Franklin.
I can't think of anything more moving or touching than having been a member of the crew of the Franklin. I'm extremely proud.
Trucker, executive, priest, insurance man, teacher, policeman. On March 19th, 1945, most of them were boys. Boys of 18, 19, 20. And they saw more death in minutes than most men see in a lifetime. But they also witnessed valor, extraordinary valor, in others and within themselves. A quarter century later, the memory of that day still binds them together. It brings them back for a last hour with the ship they love.
While what's left of us are very close, we had a wonderful crew. Beautiful crew. Some of them I remember, some of them I don't. But we all have one thing in common, and we all feel the same about this ship.
A ship by itself is nothing but a lot of steel, a lot of machinery. And it isn't until you put people on board her that she becomes a real thing.
I don't think I will ever forget it, or shall we ever forget our shipmates that we left behind. Today, we're mighty proud to be part of it. We're proud that we were on board it.
To realize what went on aboard this ship 23 years ago is something which cannot be expressed in words.
A ship that once housed 3,400 men stands silent, haunted by 3,400 dramas that, added together, have made the story of the USS Franklin an incomparable epic of the sea. An amazing ship, the Franklin. As a Navy lieutenant in 1945, I was attached to a film unit that met her when she reached New York after traveling 13,000 miles from off Japan, the most heavily damaged U.S. Navy ship ever to make port under her own power. This model gives you an idea of the immensely complicated world of an Essex-class carrier. 15 stories high, a flight deck the length of 3 football fields, 540 separate compartments, and 1.5 miles of passageways. Here, the population of a small town lives and works in various divisions. Engineering, navigation, gunnery, air group, each a separate neighborhood. On such a ship, 2 men can serve together a whole year without ever meeting. Yet, though separated by 10 decks, they must work together with a unity and precision that alone can make this enormous ship, with all its infinite and intricate parts, a single fighting force. The 27,000-ton Franklin was built in 10 months, launched at Newport News, Virginia in October 1943 as CV-13, our 13th carrier vessel, our 5th warship named for Benjamin Franklin. Her crew, from the start, called her Big Ben. After months of testing and training, the Franklin sails west of Pearl Harbor. There, on June 15, 1944, she is ordered to stand out to sea and to battle as the newest among the many thousand ships of our Pacific Fleet, the greatest armada the world has ever seen. A carrier, that lopsided beauty, has one purpose in life: to serve as a floating airfield. On the Franklin, 2,400 men of the ship's company and 1,000 men of the air group work around the clock to service, gas, and arm 100 planes and put them into the air. Fighters, bombers, torpedo planes, whose mission is to destroy enemy ships, planes, and bases, and help protect the carrier itself from enemy attack. On reporting for duty, CV-13 plunges at once into the great battles of the Pacific that in the last years of the war are driving a Japanese back island by island from their conquered territories to the homeland. Iwo Jima, Guam, Peleliu, Okinawa, Formosa, the Philippines. Under command of her first skipper, Captain James M. Shoemaker, the Franklin carries out her mission with deadly success. Enemy warships sunk or damaged, 34. Enemy merchant ships sunk or damaged, 126. Enemy planes destroyed or damaged, 338. Combat sorties flown, 3,971. In her first 4 months of service, Big Ben comes through 27 actions with hardly a wound. October 29, 1944, off the Philippines, she becomes the dead-eye target of a Japanese suicide pilot, a kamikaze, killing 56 men of the Franklin crew and wounding 60.